Hey, what's going on, guys? Slow Cooking with Shawn. It's Saturday. We made it another week. I hope to see some people start to get on here and watch this live today. We're going to be making kind of my world famous pork carnitas. And I got a special surprise for you today, a little fusion. What we're going to be making for a topping for the carnitas. So we're going to get started here pretty soon. What's up, my brother James Mendoza? We don't need no stinking badges, man. We don't need any badges. Good to see a few. All right. So as we get started, I hope everybody, I guess, made it through another week of quarantine wherever you're at. I know here in Arizona, the governor came out and said that we're gonna shelter at home, stay at home order for another couple of weeks. And boy, did he take some, took some fire there on the platform this past week. I'm just glad I'm not the governor. I'm glad that I'm not anybody that's in charge of anything. I think sometimes I chuckle about that a little bit. I was thinking about all the time that I spent in the Army. I was telling, I think, Pastor Dave this past week, I was, for the most part, you don't hear military people really complaining about being quarantined or made to stay home or take your rights away, because the fact is I spent 21 years of people telling me what I can and cannot do. I had people telling me you can't go off post, you got to stay on post, you got to stay in your barracks, you can't go out, even everybody else is going out, you have CQ duty. So it's kind of funny. I walk around my gated little compound here at South Mountain in Arizona, and I feel right at home. Like I'm inside the wire. I'm just chilling. I'm waiting for this thing. I'm waiting it out. You know what I'm saying? So some of my Army buddies are probably getting on here, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Camp Guernsey, Fort Carson, Balad, TQ, all these different places we've been pinned up. We know what it's like, and we know how to get through it. So anyway, hey, we're getting started today. We're doing some pork carnitas. It's a real pretty quick and recipe, but let's get started anyway. We're going to start. I'm going to show you a little bit different here. I'm going to show you the ingredients today. This is for the carnitas. I've got an onion. You see it. I've already kind of pre-chopped it. We have a serrano pepper. Our pork, most of the time you should use a pork butt, but I can't find any. This is a pork loin. It was already way expensive at the store, but a pork butt, pork shoulder, pork something or another, pork roast works. And then on that, in the recipe, you're gonna have cumin right here, oregano. You're like, are you kidding me? Nope, I'm not. Pepper. Salt, you like these little jobbies? One of our college students, well, she was graduated by the time she was one of our students in our ministry, but she's from the DR. She brought us those. We're super excited. And then garlic. Got to have that in just about everything that I make. And an orange. Now, this is going to be the full contents of the carnitas for now. So let's get started. First things first. I'm going to take out this pork roast. I got it here on this plate. I'm going to dry it, some paper towels. Just like that. I'm going to take a little olive oil. I'm going to give it just a little bath. What do I mean by that? That's right. You're going to rub the butt. You're going to rub the butt. You're going to get that olive oil all around there. Then I'm going to get a paper towel. All right. Good to see everybody, like I was saying. This is a super simple recipe. I think I might have even got it on Food Network at some point. You're going to take your cumin. You're going to get about 1 teaspoon of cumin. You're just going to sprinkle it over the top of your pork butt. Then you're going to take 2 teaspoons of this right here. of the oregano. Sprinkle that over the top, just like that. What I want you to do is go back to rubbing the butt, all right? I got it on this plate because, of course, this way, all the spices that you missed getting on the one side, you're gonna get on the other. And so you can see there's the pork roast. We got it good and covered. And then we're gonna put that over here in a crock pot. Now this dish, you can't just make it all of the sudden. It just takes a while. If you want good carnitas, you just gotta have patience. So I'm gonna put this in the crock pot right over here. And I'm not gonna worry about any other kind of, no water. Hey, Bill Weaver, no water. Don't put any water in there because you don't need it. What's great about carnitas is it's gonna cook, and the moisture, the fat within the pork roast is gonna come out, and it's actually gonna do all the cooking that you need. So you don't need to put any water in there. In fact, don't, because it'll ruin it. That's the thing about pork. It's really juicy. So these onions, you don't have to spend a lot of time on them. So if onions make you cry, this is your kind of dish here. You just gotta kind of lightly chop them up, and then you're gonna put those right on top of the pork roast. Now, when I get all these in here, I'm gonna show you. I'll bring this over here and I'll show you what it looks like. You're gonna take the garlic, like I was telling you. Let's do about 3 teaspoons, which is, around about 4 to 6 cloves, depending on how big your garlic cloves are. You're gonna take your serrano or jalapeno, depending upon how adventurous you are. This is about 2 pounds of roast. I like it a little bit spicy, so I'm gonna leave the seeds. You might have seen my recipe online. You can de-seed it, you can decore it. I just don't worry about that because I like it a little bit spicy. And this is, like I said, a 2-pound pork roast. So you chop this up really nice and let the seeds kind of get in there as it cooks in that crock pot. And I'm telling you, it's gonna have just the right spice. Now, I've had people from Mexico say that this is some of the best pork carnitas they've ever eaten. Now, I would say that that's a pretty good sign that this is a good recipe. So just finely chop those up. I'm gonna put that in there on top of the pork roast. Then you're gonna take your orange. This was probably the weirdest thing for me the first time I made this. I thought, you really are gonna have me put an orange on meat? But the thing is it's delicious. You're gonna take that, I'm gonna move this over here so you can kind of see me. Take that orange, I'm gonna just squeeze it really good over the top of the pork roast. And then I'm gonna show you what it looks like here in just a second. Flipping that around so you should be able to see it. This is the way the pork roast is gonna go. Your carnitas are gonna cook now. So you're gonna put this little lid on it. You're gonna put it on low. And you're actually gonna cook that 4 to 6 hours, is dependent. Takes, like I said, it takes patience to make carnitas. Now, I'm coming back over here because I have a surprise. It's a fusion surprise, if you will. Now, being a man who loves his food, I really enjoy a good barbecue. And part of the reason I like barbecue is because I like a good barbecue sauce. And now a barbecue sauce has to have that vinegary taste to it. Now, most of the time I don't put anything, to be honest, on my pork carnitas because you don't need anything on these things. But I wanted to give you a little surprise today and make you what I call my fusion. It's a French Mexican fusion, okay? And so what I'm gonna make is a French style potato salad. Now, it's not your ordinary potato salad. You're not gonna have any mayonnaise in it. You're not gonna eat it cold on top of your carnitas. So really what I'm doing is I'm gonna be frying these potatoes up, and just the spices and the different things that I use in it is gonna be kind of a French fusion. Now you're going to peel your potatoes. And as I'm doing that, let me talk a little bit about what I wanted to talk about this week. And I'm so glad to see a lot of you coming in here. So this past week, I was thinking about what it really means to people, this whole quarantine mess that we're in. I almost got in an argument with my younger brother. He's also a pastor. He and I kind of went back and forth a little bit in the midst of this. Man, this thing it's like driving a wedge between people who love each other, people who have put their lives on the line with one another. I see this whole thing is beginning to kind of break down relationships. And since people are tuning in to watch me do this, I thought, well, maybe I'll take some time and tell you that this coronavirus is not worth your relationships. And being right about whether or not it's a hoax, being right about whether or not this many or that many, or who said this and who said that, it's not worth losing the people that you love. And so let's just take a couple of minutes to think about that as I cut these potatoes up, because I just want to be careful that I don't chop my my finger off. I am not a professional chef. So I didn't go to school to learn how to do this. So, those guys, the fact that I can actually talk while I do this, Toby, you're probably amazed by that, is pretty amazing anyway. So I haven't cut my finger off yet, which is nice. I did one time cutting some chicken for an international student. We did a food tasting thing, and Jody and I went and we helped, and I was cutting some chicken with a big old knife, and I'm telling you, about chopped my thumb or my pinky right off. I'll never do that again. So anyhow, we're going to dice these up really small. And this is I'll call it my world famous French potato hash. And that's what we're going to have for our topping for our carnitas. You're probably wondering, well, hey Shawn, how are you going to do this if it takes 4 to 6 hours to make those carnitas? Can I tell you a little secret? I actually made a small batch of the carnitas this morning. I put them in there so that I could have them, so I could build a delicious carnita for you online, so you can watch me do that, so you have a little bit of an eye-opener as to what it's going to look like. Now, this potato hash, it's really going to be a simple one. You should dice these potatoes up really, really small, because we use corn tortillas for our carnitas, and corn tortillas aren't very big. If you've ever used corn tortillas, they're pretty small. 6 inches is usually the diameter of a corn tortilla. So these things have to be tiny. I mean, they're going to cook down, obviously, inside the pan. So, get them small enough so that they kind of look like little diced onions. Thank goodness they're not. They're potatoes. These are going to be so good, I'm telling you. All right. So I got those pretty diced up. Let's go over here. Follow me over here. We're going to get some oil in our skillet. Again, thanks for tuning in for our carnitas. So you'll notice, if you can see that, cast iron is what I'm using. Put a little olive oil in here. And we're going to get that sizzling up so that we can get our potatoes in here. I'm going to go over there and grab those potatoes. Right here. This is about the one chefy thing that I have. This right here. This is amazing for any kind of skillet work that you're doing that's not Teflon. Don't use this on Teflon. Some of you that don't cook much, you're like, Shawn, can I eat? No, don't use this. You'll scratch your pans up. Then you'll be like, I'm never watching Slow Cooking with Shawn anymore. He's an idiot. Okay, here we go. Now we're gonna make this fusion, and what I got here is this little whisk. Got a nice little dish. And then we're going to put in the different ingredients to go into our potato hash. Some of these are pretty fun. We have red wine vinegar. We're actually going to use about a tablespoon and a half of that. And I'm going to put that right here in this little dish. Takes a little time to get it out of there. All right. We're going to take some apple cider vinegar. I was telling you about every good barbecue has that vinegary taste. So if you go to a good barbecue joint, you'll notice that your barbecue sauce is going to have a nice vinegar taste. So I used about 2 and 1, so it's 2 to 1 of that. Then we're going to take dill seed. You can use fresh dill if you find it in the grocery store. I don't have that, so I'm using about a teaspoon of dill here. We're going to put that in with the oil, or with the vinegars. And then we're going to get some more garlic. You can't beat that, right? And put that in there, about one teaspoon. We're going to take some salt and we're going to take some pepper, kind of to taste. A little parsley. I'll probably use just about a teaspoon of that. You'll notice that this isn't pretty. Everything that I have in my house, we don't. Jody was saying we have like different brands of spice. We're not spice snobs. I took a little paprika. We're just going to put a little pinch of that in there, and we're going to mix it up. It's about as simple as that, right? And this is kind of just a vinaigrette almost. Once you put it in with the oil there, and this is going to give you that tang. So when you put it over the potatoes, you cook those potatoes up, and then you put it on top of kind of a sweet and spicy carnita, because we use that habanero pepper, and then that orange, so it has that citrus taste, and then you put the dill and that tang. I'm telling you, this is a beautiful fusion. I'm gonna go put this over here on top of the potatoes. Give me a second. Let's get you over here so you can kind of see it. I'll flip that around. So this is going to be your tangy, kind of almost barbecue type potato hash that you're going to put on top of your carnitas when they're ready. Okay? Now, of course, you don't want to make these until you know that your carnitas are ready. And I told you that I've already done that. All right. So I've got this other skillet. She's rocking right now. Let's get that going. We get a little oil. So what's this pan? You may be asking right now. This is going to be to get a little caramelization of your carnitas. Now you don't have to do this. I like doing part of my carnitas. I put it in a little canola or vegetable. You can use olive oil if you want. You can use whatever oil you want. I just kind of like how vegetable oil, how it heats. Different oils have different heating capacities. Vegetable oil, you can heat it pretty high, and it's good for this kind of thing. All right. Go back over here. And I told you that I already had kind of a mini batch of carnitas made up. I did that this morning, so I'm going to flip the camera back around. You'll see this is what it's going to look like. You got your oranges there, your onions, your peppers are in there, and your pork roast. So take a couple of forks. I know that you can't see me doing this. And then you're just going to shred. You're going to pull apart that pork. And I'm telling you, if you could see this, oh yeah, I'll probably show it to you, but it just falls apart. So this has been cooking since this morning at about, I would say 8 o'clock on low in this small little crock pot. Now, the onions that are in there have been caramelized and cooked really well, the peppers, and then of course, you have that orange juice that's in there. So I'll show you what it looks like here before we go over. So this is going to be the beginning of your carnitas. Isn't that sharp? I know I'm making you hungry right now because I'm hungry. These things been cooking in my house all day long. Okay, so that oil in this pan, it's getting hot, and I can tell, I can smell it. Bring your little crock pot right over here by your pan, and we're gonna fry those carnitas a little bit before we put them on our tortillas. So here's this. You hear that? Yeah. Again, takes patience to make good carnitas. So what you're hearing is that orange juice and the fat from the carnitas and the oil are coming together. Now, potatoes on our hash are really coming together here. Now, might take a little bit longer for you to make these, but that's okay. I just wanted you to be able to see what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. It's a lot of fun making carnitas. I want to show you this so you can see it. What I mean by the caramelization. So you see, after you've cooked the carnitas a little bit in your skillet, and you flip them around, you got a little bit of that crusty, which makes the carnita good. Like, you don't have to do this. This portion is actually a little extra, but this is the way I like my carnitas. I like a little bit of that crispy, so that's what I do. You don't have to. Well, what's great about this is that the sugar that's inside the oranges, that's what kind of helps make the caramelization happen. Let me get my tortillas real quick. Here at the Bonzoff residence, we keep a good old pack of these rolling most of the time. Use these for breakfast burritos, carnitas, veggie tacos. We love our tacos here. We're getting close to Cinco de Mayo, and I think I saw one of my favorite memes. Somebody was praying, "Please, Lord, let tacos be the cure for the coronavirus." And I was like, amen to that, because I make myself some tacos as often as I can. I would love to be able to deliver some of these to people. All right. Now, I don't know if you guys do this, but this is what's great about having a gas stove. I just slide that taco right there. Just kind of let it beat up, and you'll see what I'm talking about here pretty quick. Now, I have kind of hands of steel after so many years in the fast food industry. Hot really doesn't bother me. My wife can't do this. She's like, you just make the tacos because it'll kill my hands. So I'm going to shut off the carnitas. You see them there. So you'll notice, got that going. Okay. I'm going to put this over here. Are you getting hungry yet? A little bit of my potato hash goes right on top of that. So what do you think? Are you thinking that maybe you would like a carnita right about now? These are really great. So part of what I love about these is they're small. They have tons of really great flavor to them. Now, as far as toppings go, I know I love a little bit of avocado on these, maybe a little hot sauce, some really delicious homemade salsa to put on top of these. And man, they go great with some rice and beans on the side. I've been thinking about, man, I just wish, I wish this thing would go away so that I could go out to some Mexican restaurant and get the things that I love. Tortilla chips, good salsa. These carnitas are the best thing, one of the best things I make. And I would love to be able to bring you one of these. I would love to be able to show you that I care about you. I'd love to be able to tell you, like I'm about to tell you today, that you're loved, that you're not alone, that I'm not just some guy making some carnitas for about 20 minutes on a Saturday, but I'm somebody that would listen to you. Listen, we're all feeling all kind of a certain way right now during the virus, and you and I, we might disagree about this whole thing. We might actually think people are blowing this out of proportion, and then some of us are scared. I was thinking about fear, and here's the deal with fear. We do a couple of things when we're afraid, and this is what I've noticed on television, is that, we're playing, ESPN is playing the Michael Jordan thing on Sundays, which I love, by the way, because I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan. So when we're afraid and we don't know what we're doing, we look to our superstars. We look to the people that have overcome things. We look to the people who have been resilient through life. And I mean, I was even watching on ESPN today. They're playing some Tetris championship, and I've never. I love Tetris, but I could never do what they're doing. But what are they doing? They're overcoming odds. And when we're afraid, if we have any kind of fear, we actually look for people who can overcome the odds. I think that that's super important because it helps us understand that we can also. Here's the other thing, and this is the problem with fear. A lot of times fear causes us to do another thing. It causes us to step on the people who are weaker than we are, because then that makes us feel stronger, which can maybe help ward off the fear, if you will. So we either look to people who have been resilient, or we can step on the people that are weaker than us. This is what I'm seeing actually in our society right now. I'm seeing people that are stepping on people that are weak, which makes me really sad. I can't stand it. And then we're actually looking to people to fix this problem who are just ordinary, everyday people like you and me. And so if I had any advice, besides the fact that I can't wait to eat this, and I wish, Emily, I know you're 38 weeks pregnant and you're hungry and you would love this right now, and I wish that I could bring these to you. I have people that are close to me that are also pregnant and looking for food, and this is why I'm doing this. Can I just give you some advice? People ask me a lot for advice. I had a good friend tell me yesterday that I was wise, and I kind of laughed. I chuckled at him. There aren't too many wise people out there. I'm a wise guy, but I'm not really a sage about much. But if I could give you any advice, is to choose the path of love. And what's that look like? Well, if you see somebody that seems to be weaker than you, don't step on them. The Good Samaritan would have never done that. In fact, I'm pretty sure he didn't. He went over and he saw somebody that was lower and weaker and kind of beat up, and he helped them. Like, we can do this in our society, in our world, in our country especially, the country that I laid my life on the line for. Like, we should be loving one another in such a way that I'm proud of the fact that I did that. I'm sad. Honestly, I'm sad. Like, I hear people just roughing each other up, and we don't need to do that. In fact, don't do it. Just love one another. I'm doing this cooking show because I love food, but it's because I love people. Like, I'm so happy right now that 10 people are watching me and are hearing me tell you that I love you, that I care about you. That's how we get through this. You wanted a secret? It could be my French style hash, potato hash, and my Mexican carnitas, pork carnitas. That's a good secret. But here's the secret. The secret is to love. And it's not the kind of love that gets you fired from your job. It's the kind of love that leaves your neighbor wanting more. Like, when they walk by you in your little neighborhood, they go, those people over there, they actually legit care about me. And And I think if we could do that together, this could be one of the greatest times in our country's history. We're not fighting a war against Hitler, so we don't have to all come together and build bombs and all that stuff, right? We don't have to do that. We're fighting a war against this invisible thing, whatever it is. But here's what Americans have always done in the midst of war. We've come together. We've shown love for our neighbor. And when we've done that, we've overcome. That's the message that needs to go out. Can we love our neighbor so that we can overcome? I want to overcome this thing just as bad as everybody else. I went out, Jody and I got some coffee at Press. We love Press coffee. We got it to go, of course, because that's the only way you can do it. But I would love to be able to go to a restaurant and sit in the proximity of some people. I miss people. I miss being close to people. And I'm a pretty introverted person, actually. I just love to be in close proximity. And if this goes on for another 15 days, so be it. You know, and I hate it, but I'm not gonna bash down the people that are close to me, or even people that I don't know. I'm not bashing them down because they're afraid. Because that's one of the things we do. Remember, we either step on the people below us, or we look and strive for the people that are around us that are resilient. Look to those people. Look to God. I mean, that's pretty good advice, right? Jesus was pretty resilient. He was in the grave, boom, he's out. That's resilience. I was a master resilience trainer in the Army. And they asked me, what's resilience? In my mind, I'm thinking, well, that's pretty good. You're in the grave, boom, then you're not. That's bouncing back, if you will. We have people to look up to. Look up to your pastors. Look up to your moms and your dads. Look up to your bosses. We have people around us all over the place that are showing what resilience is. And can I tell you, resilience starts with love. The reason I want to bounce back is because I love the people around me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I want to bounce back. When I'm down and I've been beaten, like if the devil's beating you up and you're in the middle of an alley and you're getting your butt kicked, fight back. Fight back. Why? Because there's people that love you, that care about you. Right now, if you're thinking that maybe I should hurt myself, don't. Somebody loves you. You're listening to this right now because somebody loves you. I don't know what else to say. Like, I care about you. I care about all of us. I care about this country. Man, choose the way of love. Choose the way of love. Carnitas. This fusion between my little potato hash and this deliciousness of pork carnitas. It's going to change my life tonight. Anyway, love you guys. God loves you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. Hey, would you share this with your friends? Would you tell them a little bit about, hey, watch this? I started, just before I go, I started my own page called ASU Mill Advocate. It's on my Facebook, and I'm kind of trying to let people know I want to do motivational speaking. I want to let people know that I'm here for them. I'd be willing to hang out and talk. So go to my Facebook page at ASU Mill Advocate. Like that, share it. Share this video with somebody that you know that needs to hear from you, that you love them. Like, just send my love onto them, and that's a start. All right. Peace. Love you guys. God loves you. Ain't nothing you can do about it.